Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining. I love the people who are on time. You guys are awesome. Sorry about that. I have my volume on my laptop here. Really excited because I have been gone for 2 weeks and it has been weird not being on here with you guys. So I appreciate the fact that you haven't forgotten about me. You came in, like I said, on time. Look at you guys. You've already hit the like button. Those of you who know, I ain't too proud to beg asking for those likes, but go ahead and let YouTube know this is the type of content that you want to see by smashing that like button. I've got someone very special watching, so that was pretty funny. Walter says, what's up? Hey, what's up, Walter? He has been with me since the beginning of time, so thank you so much for being a part. You guys, I have a lot that I want to get into today, so I'm going to jump right on in here. If it's your first time watching, I want to let you know that my mission is to bridge the communication gap between men and women. I have a lot of new subscribers this week thanks to a post Lateris did, a video that he posted of me and a few friends. We were talking on the podcast Dear Future Wifey off the podcast, so there are a lot of new faces. If you are joining me from that show, if you saw me on his channel and then came over to mine, let me know in the comments so I can shout you out. But I have been loving all the comments. I see D. Lewis. I saw her comment earlier today, and as promised, I said I would shout you out. So thank you for sticking around. She has been so sweet and giving me feedback. She's one that came over from Lateris' show. So shout out. If you guys have not seen Dear Future Wifey, excellent series my friend Lateris Whitfield has on YouTube. You can check it out there and you can see the video that I was on with 3 other people. But that's my mission. I want to bridge the communication gap. I feel that there is this huge gender war going on unnecessarily, and I think a lot of it is just coming from hurt, coming from people feeling misunderstood, not being appreciated. And so I'm going to do my part to share what I have learned on my journey along the way, learning about love and relationships. If you have not done so already, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Please do so. That way you're notified every time new content drops. I do my best to drop content on Tuesdays and Thursdays, although sometimes I miss my mark. I'm so sorry, but I should be doing better. This Tuesday, though, you don't want to miss it. I actually just finished editing. Y'all, you don't even understand, okay, the struggle. Weeks ago, I started editing it, and it kept malfunctioning, my software, because I'm using this like real bootleg software. It's not the nice high-end kind, and it keeps crashing. And so when you spend hours editing and it crashes, you're over it. You have to walk away. But I have a video that I'm going to be dropping on Tuesday. It's the first time I talked about it, I believe, publicly, is here right now. But it's a video with me and Doughboy. You guys probably know we did a podcast last summer together, and we had a really interesting conversation. It was so long, I had to break it up into multiple parts. So I'm going to be dropping part 1 on this Tuesday coming up, so 2 days from today, okay? If you guys have seen or saw my podcast, The New Normal, type TNN in the comments. It'd be interesting to see how many of you guys saw that. It was a lot of fun when I was doing that. But make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. You guys, I have merchandise. If you've been following for a while, you know this. And pardon all the announcements. Like I said, I got a lot to update you guys on, then we're going to jump right into it. He said the 909 is in the house. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good to see you, sir. I haven't seen you in a while. So shout out to Anthony Hill. He's part of my Facebook group, so special friend there. But I have merchandise, you guys. A lot of you have purchased it already. And I'm going to show you some of the pieces because I normally just hold it up, but I thought I'd be a little bit more professional tonight. But these two is my 2 of my designs. You have on the right Hope Dealer. And then that comes in all sizes, and anything that you see you can get in a hoodie as well. A hoodie or a crew neck. It's basically a sweatshirt without the hood. And then you have You Had Me at Black on the left-hand side. And then my other pieces you can see here. And by the way, that's my lovely daughter. Isn't she beautiful? Love her. And then this one, I've got my son modeling, the Be the Light. This actually was my most popular style. And it actually is not in stock right now, but if I get enough interest in it, I will do some more. I usually have to do about print 12 pieces at a time. So if I get enough people interested in that, then I will print another batch. And then, of course, Believe on the left. So like I said, you can do sweatshirts, hoodies, or the t-shirt if you want. Walter Blue, yes, you are here from TNN. Walter was like one of our original followers from there, and then he carried on over. So shout out to you, Walter. Doc M says, blessings and love to Yonci and everyone in here. Oh, this is sweet. So much love already. I love it, you guys. All right, so let's see here. I'm trying to fiddle with my, oh, here we go. All right, so if you guys would like to support, you guys can do so in two ways. You can use Cash App if you would like to just tip your waitress, serving you up some goodness tonight. Or you can also do Patreon. You can go to the website here, patreon.com/Yonci, and that's if you want to support long term. It's a subscription you can do as little as $5 a month, but it goes a long way in putting food on my table. So thank you guys. That's all the church bulletins I had to get through. Thank you to everybody who hit the like button already. I won't talk about the two who haven't yet. No shame, no shame. But we'll give you a little second to smash that button. Doc says love from Canada. Thank you, doll. You're always so supportive. All right, so I'm going to see. I've got some people who said they're going to join in. I don't know exactly what time they're going to be joining. So let me take a look in the green room and see if anybody is there. Not quite yet. All right, so let me just get this camera set up. You guys know how I am. I'm OCD about this camera. So let me just get into it. All right, guys. Woo! I hate that nasty green screen I have to start out with, but, you know, I don't have the technology to do multiple backgrounds like that. I don't know how you do it with the other camera. Okay, we got Doug coming in from Houston, Texas. Hey, Doug. Hey, darling. How are you? I am part of 2 groups with him. Let's see. Walter says I hit the like before the audio starts. That's what's up. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to get to this. So this is huge. So as you guys know, in the past when I've done my live streams, they have been so long. I mean, we have marathon live streams. We even had someone suggest, you know, it might be better if they're not so long. But the reason I would go so long is because I was trying so hard to become eligible for the YouTube partnership program, the YouTube partner program. And they give you 12 months to accrue 4,000 watch hours. So basically, anytime you watch a video, let's say you watch a 30-minute video, that's 1/2 hour. I need 4,000 watch hours before I could qualify. And then, of course, 1,000 subscribers. I smashed that subscriber goal, you know, a couple weeks ago, but I just recently hit my watch hour goals. So literally, I could not have done it without you guys. You guys, the ones who are here consistently, you literally had a hand in getting me into the program. You guys, I don't know why I'm looking at this camera. It's this camera, my bad. So this probably feels a little more natural now. But you guys literally are the reason I'm here. So I remember I have an app and I could see my hours as they're accruing. But for some reason on the YouTube official site itself, like the mobile versus the online, the desktop version, it's a little slower. So the desktop one was delayed. It's about a couple days delayed. So I had to wait and wait and wait to finally see, you know, the actual notice. There's a little ticker and it goes away when you're finally able to apply, or rather a big button pops up. And then I got the official email from YouTube. So I took a picture of that. I put it in my reel for today on Instagram. If you guys follow me there, you probably already saw it. But it's a really big deal, you guys, because not to go on and on and on, but for those of you who've been following me, last summer I quit my job. I walked away from a job that I absolutely hated. It was not for me, and I felt like this was my purpose. And so I had about a year's worth of savings, and I'm 10 months in, and so I just hit my goal. And YouTube is not something that you can get rich quick, but at least it's a start. So at least I can get a little small something for videos now that I'm doing it, because they take hours at a time doing it. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's a lot of work, but it's worth it when you see messages like today from D. Lewis talking about how she appreciates my content and things like that. Honestly, years ago, you guys, I was in a really, really bad place, a really dark place, super depressed. There were things that I just wasn't comfortable talking to my friends and family about. And I remember searching online, trying to find questions, just particular answers to particular questions, and just didn't find it. So my motivation is trying to put out there the content, especially for the mental health stuff. I want to put content out there for people who need it. I think these are conversations that we need to have. And a lot of times I'll see various memes floating around through social media, but no one's really tackling these conversations. So each Sunday I invite some friends on to come and have some discussions and kind of see what we can figure out and talk about based on the topic. So tonight's topic He said one of them was 4 hours long. Our record is actually 9 hours, though. That's crazy. So we used to have non-YouTube conversations every Friday night in my group. That one was 9 hours. One girl got off work, got on our call, and then actually stayed up the entire time she was off of work and then had to go back. It was nuts. But yeah, we've been on here for a really long time on YouTube as well. Okay. So since I don't have anyone yet, I'll have to keep checking I'll have to remember to look to see if people are in there eventually, but no one's in there right now. But I am going to move forward with this conversation. I want to talk to you guys about texting. I want to talk about this. I did a poll and I asked people, what is their preferred way of getting to know somebody? And the choice was texting or phone calls. And actually, before I go forward, let me know in the comments. Yay, we have our likes equaling the views. That's awesome. Let me know in the comments if you prefer phone or text. And I know there's a slight delay, so it'll be a second before you guys come in. But you can do an emoji with the telephone if you want for the phone call, or just write out call or text. Because I just realized both would be a phone emoji. But anyway, I did a poll, and believe it or not, some people said they preferred text messages. And I was dumbfounded because obviously there's a time and place for, a text message. I feel like a text message is cute if you're like, hey, I'm just thinking about you. I didn't want anything. Or, hey, what's up? Just kind of like popping in and out. Hey, I'm getting on my live stream. I'll talk to you in an hour. Little quick messages are okay. And you can even do things like Marco Polo. Let me know if you guys are familiar with Marco Polo. Okay, so far we have 3 votes for phone calls. Marco Polo is a really good app, and I don't get paid for this, okay, unless you want to sponsor me, Marco Polo. But Marco Polo is basically it's like texting through video. So you just push a button, because it's made to be so you don't have to record a video and then attach it and send it. You just hit record and it automatically goes to the person. But that's a little bit more personal, but it's still not live. And I know that you can do GIFs and you can do emojis. Or is it GIFs? I don't know if you say GIFs or GIFs. Either way, and emojis, but it's not the same as a face-to-face conversation. And that's the other thing a lot of people talk about. They say, I'm not really a phone person. But unless you live next door to your person you're talking to, you don't have the luxury of being in person. And especially with nowadays with technology, a lot of times people are dating long distance just because that's who they're falling in love with. That's who they're meeting. They're not meeting people locally in the grocery store. So if you're, unless you're a baller and you could jump on an airplane every 5 minutes, you gotta talk. You gotta talk. Walter says text leaves a lot on the table, but they're awesome for NSFW. I don't know what that means. In the middle of the day. Maybe that's something grown up. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a place for text. It's just something. Oh, she's in Vegas right now. I've been there a lot this month. Shout out to Akira, who's still checking in on vacation. D. Lewis says video chat. And yes, that's the next thing that I was going to get to. So for me, my preference obviously would be in person. Like, who wouldn't want to see someone that you like? But if I can't do in person, the next best thing is a video chat, because you can do everything but, touch the person. You can see their facial expressions. You can learn a lot from non-verbal communication. And then if I can't do a video chat, then okay, a phone call. But the last thing I want to do if I'm actually trying to get to know somebody is a text message. So I just don't understand. What did he say? Not safe for work. I don't know what that means. Oh, that's what the acronym means. Not safe for work pics. I like that acronym. That's cute. But yeah, so I want to figure out, this message or this video, this conversation is pretty much for the person who feels that texting is the way to go. And also this is the part that blew me. A lot of times people were saying, I don't like being on the phone, but I don't think it's necessarily that they don't like being on the phone. I think it's they don't want to be bored on the phone. And so what I've noticed is that a lot of times, especially the guys, I haven't heard the women complain about this, but the guys say, okay, the woman wants to be on the phone, but then she gets on the phone and just sits there. It's just crickets. And she's not saying anything. She doesn't have stimulating conversation. And, I've never struggled with talking, clearly, as I'm talking by myself as a talking head. But I've never understood somebody liking someone else and not knowing what to say. So I'm going to do I'm doing a free plug because I'm not getting paid. free plug for this book, okay? This is, oh, it's mirrored, sorry guys. But it says, Don't You Dare Get Married Until You Read This. This book is by Corey Donaldson. And it says, the book of questions for couples, more than 500 points to ponder as you, more than 500 points to ponder before you live happily ever after, from love and sex to in-laws, exes, and dirty laundry. So if you're the type of person who struggles with coming up with questions and topics and things to talk about, buy this book, okay? Buy this book. And Corey, if you end up watching this, we're on first name basis in my head, okay? But if you're watching this, I plug this book so many times. Feel free to give me an affiliate link, okay? But I'm just promoting this because I like this book. And I won't tell you how many marks there are in here, but if you're talking to somebody, you can, so let me just show you like a page, okay? So, that's the preface. So they're literally numbered. There are 500 questions. They're literally numbered. So if you have some that you're getting to know, you can make a little mark. You could circle them or whatever to show the ones that you've asked. And then there are different topics. There's sex, romance, and love. Things like, you know, how do you feel about this? What do you think about that? How often do you want this? Questions about religion, self-worth, expectations, the past, trust, family. You know, there's so many things that you can talk about. And of course, you're not going to throw them all into one conversation. But this is a great topic starter, conversation starter. I think that we have really gotten away from the art of communication. And a big part of it is, I think when you're talking to somebody, you possibly are being self-centered. Maybe you're just wanting to be a passive participant, and maybe you're not interested in really in them. I think a lot of times we look at other people as what they can give us as opposed to what we can give them. So if you want to show the person that, you know, you're a person of value, that you are a good person, or just because you are a good person, listen. Listen to what they have to say. Listen intently. Don't listen just for the next thing to say, but listen intently. And this goes for just civil conversations and not just arguments, because we say that with arguments, but just listen. So if a guy is talking to you and he says, oh man, I had a tough day, you could say, well, you know, what happened today? Or if they say, you find out, because everyone says, what do you do for a living? But if you find out that they work for a bank, whatever, you can ask them, hey, what made you get into that? What made you decide to go into that field? Is that where you went to school for? What's your dream job? What would you do if you could get paid to do anything? What would you do? Maybe write questions down before you even start the conversation so that it can flow. But I cannot tell you how many times I have had men say, wow, this is so refreshing. You know, I cannot believe how much time has flown by, or I'm not really a phone person, but this has been an interesting conversation. We have to get back to the art of communication. And I think that there are certain things that we need to just talk about out the gate. Out the gate. You know, you should talk about things that are deal breakers for you. If it's faith, if it's having kids. I've talked to people who have been hanging out and dating for a while and then realize, oh, we are on completely different pages on some of my non-negotiables. And then now you're in this situation where you're running the risk of, do I stay because I like this person? Or do I leave because this is a non-negotiable? A lot of times you're going to resent that person if you try to go against one of your non-negotiables. So I just say you got to have those questions right out the gate. So it looks like everybody so far who has commented is saying phone calls. The other thing that I hear guys say, especially, I don't have time to be on the phone all day. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves. By the way, if you just tuned in and you haven't smashed that like button, please take a moment to do that right now. Lets YouTube know this is the type of content more people should see, and it pushes it out to everyone else. But when guys say that, it drives me nuts, because nobody said being on the phone all day. Nobody said that. Nobody said that your conversation has to be 5, 6, 8 hours. You don't even have to be on the phone for an hour. You could just have your phone call and get off. And also, I think that we should normalize scheduling calls, because I know for me, my days are all over the place. I might be filming, I might be editing, I might be exercising. I don't have normal 9 to 5 business hours. I work every single day of the week. And like I said, my hours are all over the place. So for me, I always find it very considerate when somebody says, hey, when are you going to be free? I'd love to talk to you. Or letting that person know, I'd love to hear your voice. And then setting up a time. We're not in high school. We can't just sit there and breathe on the phone all day long. So ladies, especially, if you would like to talk to your boo thing, make sure you have something to say. Unless he's the type of guy who likes to just listen to you breathe, which there aren't that many of those. But I also think FaceTime also makes it easier because you, like I said, you can have that nonverbal communication and you don't have to sit there holding the phone. I like to prop my phone up, get comfortable, and, you know, do whatever I need to do. So it feels the closest to an in-person situation. This was the other thing that I wanted to ask. Okay, so guys say they don't want to be on the phone all day. You can tell her I gotta go, whatever, or you can let her know, hey, I only have 30 minutes, but blah, blah, blah. Set the tone ahead of time. But I truly wonder if the people who are saying they prefer text relationships are really into that person. Because if I'm perfectly honest, I have liked guys before in the past, but not liked them enough to get on the phone. There are guys where it's like, if I get a text, it's flattering, it's an ego boost, and I'm like, oh, that's cute, he was thinking about me. But that's it. I don't want to talk to him. I really don't care how his day is going. And I think that one of the things that we can do, shoot, for our own karma, okay, if not just to be a good person, is to normalize disengaging from people that you're not really into. I can understand if you're like, I just met this person, I don't know if I'm in love yet. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the person that you literally don't know whether or not if you don't talk to that person from one to the next, you don't care. If you're really unbothered by that person, if you're very what is the word? Apathetic. If you're just kind of like, whatever. I think you should let that person go, because the problem is, and this is what happens when I deal with guys and I try to give guys advice. They will start sharing all this, these opinions that they have based on what I call skewed data. So they're dealing with women who are not really into them, and they're thinking that's a normal behavior. Oh, but women do this, women do that. And I always tell them, are you sure you have correct data, or is this data being skewed because you have women mixed in there who aren't into you? And I think that we have to care enough about the other person and their feelings to get over our awkwardness. Because I know for me, I used to feel like, oh my God, I want to be honest, but it's really awkward to tell this person how I feel. The reality is that you're making it worse, because the longer they go, the more invested they're getting, and people just start to get resentful. And I think that if you were to just move on, it allows that person to move on graciously, and it's not all these mental gymnastics. Comment if you have ever had a situation where you were constantly reading into it, you're trying to interpret what they meant, reading between the lines, and you didn't have really good communication. That is exasperating. And a lot of times, this behavior can just be summed up as they're not really into you. And you might be thinking, well, okay, well, why can't I just ask that person if they're into me? It's because I have found it's not very black and white. A lot of people, my former self included, was just not comfortable being honest. It just felt awkward. I even struggle with telling people live in the flesh, hey, I'm not interested. No, I don't want your phone number. It's an awkward thing to do. And when I first came onto the dating scene, I used to feel like, oh, everything's just so cut and dry. It's just black and white. You either like the person or you don't. But the reality is, it's not that simple, because you're dealing with people. You're dealing with human nature. You're dealing with a lot of things that are not just very simple. And so especially women, I think you should rely less on what the guy says and more on what he does. Because as you can see in the comments, when a guy is really into you, he's going to make time for you. He's going to want to hear your voice. He's going to want to see your face. Even if he lives in another state, he's going to figure out a way to get a ticket to come see you, or fly you out to come see him. So we got to start looking at actions. And then us ourselves, we have to be more humane in our interactions, and, basically putting people down if we're not interested. I was making a joke because I talked to this one guy, and he said, man, I would just want to know. He's like, take me out back and shoot me. Obviously, that was a metaphor, YouTube, not being literal. But he's like, don't let me just keep being strung along and thinking I have a chance, and it's really not. So my question then would just be, is that person truly into you? Because I just don't see how you can get to know somebody through text messages. I just don't get it. I'm trying to see. I made some notes so I don't forget. Don't forget. But basically, at the end of the day, I want to say this. Just be organic. Just be natural. Just have a conversation from the heart. And I feel that there are so many things that can be easily avoided if we just have conversations. And there's a saying that how you start is how you finish, or you should start how you want to finish. And if your goal is to be in a committed relationship, or let's just say marriage or what have you, you have to start from day one having conversations. And I think the reason why a lot of people struggle with communication is because their motivation in communicating is to ensure that that person sticks around, as opposed to trying to ensure that you're being heard and that your needs are being met. And yes, Dee says things that can be misinterpreted through text. Exactly. Oh, hey, Natasha. She said she dropped her like. Thank you, Natasha. One of my faves here checking in. I appreciate you. And so I think if we go in that route, if we start off, let me back up a little bit more. If we start out with loving ourselves, we then don't start out with a deficit. And because when you have a deficit of love, you are going to settle for anything. It's kind of like when you're starving, you'll pretty much eat whatever. But if you're not that hungry, you might take a little bit more time and find a restaurant that you like, or, make a meal that you really enjoy. So with ourselves, we have to start out with love, our own love, so that we're not desperate. And then once we find that person, communicate. I remember before, I hated to speak up. I hated saying certain things because I felt like, oh my gosh, what if they don't like this? And what if they have a problem with it? But the thing is that wouldn't you rather know if you guys are not compatible? And that's really what it is. You guys are not compatible if you are saying what you want and that person is not willing to give it to you or not even try. So that's a huge sign. So we got to stop being fearful of scaring the other person away. I can't tell you how many times I talk with my girlfriends and the conversation's like, what does he mean by this? What do I do in this situation? And I try to always use the advice, what do you have to lose? Nothing. Because if you speak your honest truth and he sticks around, then you're compatible. If you speak your honest truth and he doesn't stick around, you dodged a bullet. So there's really no loss in speaking your mind. And at least for me, every time I let something go, something a little bit better comes into my life. Can you guys relate? And let's see. My son's responding to my comment. He said, can I read it out loud? That's pretty funny. Yeah. He said if he wants to get off a call, he's going to his phone is always conveniently about to die. Wait a minute. I think you've used that with me before. He's shaking his head vigorously. No. But yeah, you got stuff to do, especially if you're a parent, oh, the kids need me. Yeah. My daughter wasn't feeling well the other day, and I shouldn't say the other day, months ago. And I remember using that. I was like, oh, gotta go tend to her. And I was like, saved by the kid. But we gotta just be more confident in the fact that what is for us is for us. And I truly believe with all my heart that if you desire a relationship, it is out there and it will come to you. But I also believe that timing is perfect. I subscribe to God being in control, whatever you call it, I don't know. But I believe that he's not going to give us what we want until it's appropriate. And I think that when I look back over my relationships and experiences, I've seen that every single interaction has helped me grow in some way. And I feel that, when I got married, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for a relationship. And then when I was divorced, I still wasn't ready for a relationship. It's been almost 7 years. And I feel like I'm just starting to get to the place where I feel like I'm in a really healthy place where I can communicate my needs. I don't have an unhealthy need for a partner, but I have a strong desire, which is a very different thing. I feel like I'm able to accept criticism without, curling up in the fetal position and feeling like I'm being thrown away. That was definitely a sign of healing that needed to happen. But I think that if you believe that there is somebody out there, you can kind of relax a little bit. You don't have to hold on with white knuckles, you know, gripping onto every relationship that you come across or every person you come across, because you know that who's for you is for you. And like I said, if they have to go, then that wasn't the person for you. So I hope that gives you a little bit of solace, knowing that you don't have to stress out. I really do believe that what's for you is for you, and you do what you can do. I'm curious to know, I'm about to wrap up, you guys. I'm not used to doing this for just an hour, so it's kind of cool, but it feels so fast compared to what I normally do. Let me know if you guys are into dating apps. If you guys are into dating apps, and if you are into dating apps, let me know which ones are your favorite, and I'm going to share which one is my favorite. One of the things that I want to talk about, which is kind of in line with the text message thing, excuse me, is dating apps. So the communication, I should say, on dating apps. I've seen numerous profiles, obviously of guys, because I don't look at women's profiles, but I look at guys' profiles that say things like, don't just hit like and then not comment, or don't comment and then not really say anything else. And I think that this is an example of people just not communicating, because in the dating app, it's kind of a numbers game. You know, you're just scroll, left, right, whatever, whichever app you're on. And you might kind of be feeling somebody, but then there might be someone who gets more of your attention. And so I think that when somebody just kind of falls off, either they just weren't that interested to begin with, or they've met someone who's even more interested. And I kind of feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like if somebody circles back a long time later, maybe just move on, because it seems like, well, I guess they could just not have been on the app. But if they're consistently doing that, I just feel like it's a sign. I'm a big fan of, when you see something that you like, you go for it. So I'm not the type of person who's going to sit there for weeks on end on an app. I'm going to want to talk. And one of my favorites is Hinge. And again, I don't get paid by them. This is not an affiliate program here. But one of the things I like about Hinge is that they have a phone built in and a video chat feature built in. So you don't have to worry about compromising and giving your phone number if you don't want to, but you want to hear their voice and see their face. It's kind of nice. So I like that option. Walter says, I've tried dating apps, but they never worked. A lot of women I met there just wanted to hook up. Oh, wow. That's surprising. I remember one time a guy messaged me, and I believe the conversation was all but this. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. And then I think his next response was, do you want to come over? And I was like, okay, I could be a psychopath, sir. And he's like, I'm sure you're not. But that was such a turn off, and I just never talked to him again. So I was like, that is 100% a hookup. Like, why in the world would you just 0 to 60 want someone to come over and hang out with you? And it was during COVID. Like, what? The pandemic. Dating apps make it extremely difficult to understand motives. I think that for me, I mean, I'm a little bit different. I love dating apps because I don't live in a place that has my target demographic. I'm very much into black guys. It's just what I'm attracted to and what's attracted to me. And there aren't very many in my area. And not to mention, I don't go outside very much, aside from like going for a walk. So, you know, if they don't catch me at the grocery store, or getting my mail, you're pretty much not going to catch me. So I kind of like it because it can narrow down your options, you know, by height, by your faith, by your ethnicity, by whether or not you want children. I can see how far you live from me. So I'm a huge fan of dating apps, to be perfectly honest. Akira says, I use dating apps, but they are deceitful. They'll put the right things in their bio, but as you get to know them a little, you realize they just want bound chicka wow wow. And I think, but I feel like dating apps are similar to just real life. I really do. I think that it's all a process. It's all a process of sifting through the trash. I hate to call people trash, but the trash. I think that, it's just a process, and you have to just accept the good with the bad. But I like it. I feel like it's like the Uber Eats of relationships. You know, you can just quickly get through and see what's what. But to me, it's always a bad sign when the person takes like 3 days to respond, and then they don't suggest getting off the app, or at least having a phone conversation. Let me know, you guys, if you have any questions that you would like me to answer. I've been checking my little green room, and my friends are not there yet. So they might just miss this whole live stream. But then again, they're used to me being on for marathon hours. But we have 3 people who said they were supposed to come on today. So we'll see if they come on in the last couple of minutes. But since we have a little extra time with just yours truly, let me know if you have any questions. And you guys, if you came on halfway through or on at the beginning, I was letting you know that I do have merchandise for sale. If you guys are interested in getting any merchandise, you can do so at my website, which is payyonci.com and /shop, or you can just go on there and click the shop button. But I've got lots of apparel. I have a couple pieces left in inventory, and then the other ones I'm just going to make to order. But ask any questions if you guys have them now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to share with you. Make sure you follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. That's normally where I update you guys. But now I am approved to do the posts on YouTube, which is kind of a newer feature. I don't even know if it's a year old. But I can actually post directly on YouTube. So that was nice because last week I wasn't able to come on. And I was able to just directly on YouTube say, hey guys, I'm not going to be able to make it. My girlfriend was stuck. So as you guys know, I travel a lot with my friend Liz. We do the vlogs where you see us traveling. And poor girl, she was like stuck in LAX for hours and hours and hours. They canceled her flight, sent her back to Vegas. It was this whole thing. So I was dead and I was driving. So I wasn't able to go on. But I like that feature. There was something I want to tell you guys. Oh, what was it? So I got my Doughboy episode coming on Tuesday. There was something that I wanted to share with you guys that was either coming up. I was talking about Vegas, blogs, vlogs. I can't think of what it is right now. But I do have a video that I'm editing. I'm working on editing now that I got Doughboy's Part 1 done. I did his interview. I had another interview with a woman who I cannot wait to post. Her name is Avery Burke. And she's someone I actually met while in Dallas. And she's on one of my vlog videos. We had an amazing conversation with her. That one I cannot wait to drop for you guys. And then I have my DC vlog that I haven't even started to edit. So that was a very fun trip to DC. It was really cool. I'm going to be doing a course, you guys. I'm going to be doing a course on a couple different things. I want to give a course for people who are either battling depression or kind of not sure what their purpose is and kind of just need a little push. And then I'm also going to do a course on dating. And how to navigate within those first couple of interactions and how to have more success with the opposite sex. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys are not on my email list already, make sure you do that. You can go to my website and hit subscribe, or you can go to my Instagram and hit the link in my bio, and it'll take you to the little link tree that says email list. Make sure you subscribe there, because all the cool stuff that happens, I try my best to send out an email about that. But like I said, get this book, you guys. Getting back to this book, get this book. I'm going to read you a couple of questions on here so you guys can get a taste. Ooh, I don't want to read that question out loud. But this one is in this section. I just happened to open it, but it's about, this one's on sex, love, and romance. I'll hold it up high enough. But here are some of the questions. If we eliminated physical attraction from our relationship, what would be left? Let's see. I think those are weird questions. Are you sexually inhibited? Let's see. What is the best way for me to show you that I love you? If I put on weight, will it affect our sexual relationship? How? How often have you admitted a headache or some other ailment to avoid having sex? So these are really interesting questions. It will definitely help if you have someone that you're interested in and you want to make sure you cover a lot of the bases. It's also good if you struggle with finding things to ask somebody, because if you're on a dating app, everybody says, hey, how are you? How was your day? And that's just, oh God, everyone's asking that same question. All right, guys, so I'm going to be wrapping here unless you have any questions. That's really it that I have for you. Let me check my notes, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Excuse me. I will, let's see here. I'll give you guys, one more shameless plug. If you want to show support, you can drop a little blessing at payyonci, or you can join my Patreon group if that's something that you're interested in. In case you guys were not on when I showed my merch, I'll show it one more time. Right now I have 4 designs. And oh, before I forget, I have a hat. It's I'm gonna be posting it on Instagram soon, but it says Manifester. And if you guys are interested, I'll bring that design back. But right here, I have the 4 designs. These are 2 of them. One is You Had Me at Black. The other one is Hope Dealer. And then my last 2 are Believe and Be the Light. And like I said before, all of these are available in hoodies and crew necks as well as t-shirts if you are interested. So I appreciate that. And also, if you guys have a business that you want to promote, or if you have a product or service, this is a great opportunity to get your product in front of a lot of people. Right now, I'm in the hundreds for views on average. Some of my views are in the thousands, but the majority of them are in the hundreds. But it's a very inexpensive way to have your product advertised on evergreen content. Evergreen meaning it's not going anywhere. So I don't plan on shutting my channel down anytime soon. But if you get in at the beginning, you're going to have your content or your product be advertised in front of a lot of people over time. Because I'm only 10 months in and I'm already getting over 1,000 views on some. I think I have about 4,000 on my biggest video right now. So it's a good thing. But pray for me, you guys. This is definitely a leap of faith. I want to show you every part of the journey. And I told my friend it's kind of a tricky situation where, you don't want to give too much. Like they say, people want to eat the hot dogs, but they don't want to know how they're made. But I also want to show you behind the scenes, because I think a lot of times, especially with social media, people just want to pop up when they're successful. And it's easy to overlook the struggle. I don't want you guys to be fooled into thinking that it's easy, monetizing on YouTube, or it's easy becoming an influencer, or it's easy launching a business, or what have you. So I'm trying to use my journey to encourage you guys to go out and do whatever it is you want to do. And like I always said, it's not always about the money. It's not always about trying to have a profitable business. Sometimes the thing that makes you happy, you just do it for free, or it's not even something you could charge for. But I hope that you guys get inspired by my journey. I'm going to keep you posted along the way. I have 2 more months for my year of branching out and, like I said, living off of savings. And I'm not too proud to take up a little 9-to-5 if I have to, if it gets down to crunch time. But I'm going to try to be as creative as possible and launch some products. So support me if you feel like it. I appreciate you guys so much, so much. Please let your friends know about this content if you enjoyed it. And until next time, tell someone that you love them. Thank you.